had not been passed to the parents, partly because they were still much Clement himself didn't know. The mud at least had served to capture some very good footprints. He saw Maggie and noticed him lean away, as though she were shocked and offended to see him there. Only the color of her clothes and the slack-jawed sorrow on her face signaled the dire nature. Receiving line from the brightness of the day, the smell of the flowers, the well-wishers might have been congratulating her on her daughter's wedding. Her shoulders collapsed inward at the sight of the policeman as though someone had struck her in the chest. She seemed to try to shrink into little here were the shadows. He moved toward the line, stood in it, held out his hand, and felt her against his palm, clammy, so light and slender. She wondered how she could carry the weight of the carved jade ring on her index finger. "Surprised to see you here, Superintendent," she said in a tone edged with weariness. Husky voice had lost its strength and sounded now like a rasp. "What's the etiquette for funerals? Are, guests like Death able to come whether they're not invited?" "Thank you very much for coming," Nicholas said quickly, offering his hand. He wore plain wire-rimmed glasses that were coming back into fashion again. Seemed to a man didn't care if he was fashionable, so said probably wore them all along. The shadow of the banyan tree fell across the upper half of his thin, sharp-cheeked face, so the lids were darkened, and Clement couldn't see the eyes behind them. He could, however, make out his own reflection, the slightly heavy face walled with the sad truth of life. The deep-set, bag dark eyes was a visage of good-looking Bassingham, somber with the knowledge that consolation calls for no consolation. "Do anything yet?" Nicholas asked him. "This is hardly the place, Nicholas," Maggie said, a look of disdain pulling at his already downturned mouth. "Just assume the police were here." "Well, don't assume." Her voice was etched with the practiced acid of 20 years of quarrels. "Stop always assuming." Clement was embarrassed, as though he had inadvertently eavesdropped on the intimacy or lack of it as caught them at a dinner which he wasn't welcome. Funerals always made him uncomfortable and awkward. Tended as few as he could, unless he was one of those close friends. Be more of those than he'd cared to count in recent times. Funerals have gone for a younger than his own 49er summers. Dead offered as that from drink and too much good living. The riptide that flowed under the lake of luxury. People were so easily seduced by the hedonism available in sunny locales with dearths of real allegiances. Less like the superintendent himself, he really loved the Queen, and would have been willing to die for her if he had a choice. He was by his own burly nature true colonial, with fewer locals left he could serve, and serve his Queen he did, usually with her heart bursting with conviction. The death of those two children wrenched the place his belly. Went deeper than duty, made him wish he had chosen another profession. Still, he had no choice to attend the great event. Casey could pick up some intelligence. She more or less trimmed his grizzled beard, put drops of his whiskey-red eyes. Come to this churchyard blasted with melancholy sunshine. In the midst of death, the minister put it, people in the midst of life, in Maggie's case, from the look of her, whether or not they wanted to be. "Will you join the flat, Superintendent Leslie?" Nicholas said. "We having people over." "Must we go on with this?" Maggie snapped. "I want to be by myself." "Thank you, Clement," said the words directed to Nicholas, deliberating Maggie's petulance for giving it. "Have to get back to headquarters." "Let us know as soon as you find out anything," Nicholas asked. "Of course," said Clement. Moved off the shade, no relief from heat. He made a canopy of trees, only a little mercy of the glare. More mercy the two young people had been shown. A lot of mercy in that.